Okay, so good afternoon, community. Today is November 28th, 2023, and I hope that everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving and well rested and ate a lot of food and feeling great because we are. And I want to welcome all of you to this most important process that we are undertaking this afternoon. So before I go any further, I want to introduce myself. My name is Vijay Ramjatan. I am the president of District 28 for the past 5 years, and I love serving this community. And with my council members here tonight as well, we're all looking forward to a wonderful night. So before we go any further, I'll be asking our interpreters to please make an announcement in Spanish and Bengali. Spanish interpreters, please.
Good evening. Buenas noches. Para escuchar esta reunión en español, por favor, marque desde su teléfono el número 646-964-1167 e ingrese el código de conferencia o número PIN 161-289-6168, símbolo numeral. Repito, para escuchar esta reunión en español, marque desde su teléfono el número 646-964-1167 e ingrese el número PIN 161-289-6168, símbolo numeral. Por favor, asegúrense de poner sus dispositivos en silencio y así evitaremos ruido de fondo. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll have announcements in Bengali. Thank you.
শুভ সন্ধ্যা সবাইকে। আজকে ডিস্ট্রিক্ট 28 সুপারিনটেন্ডেন্ট ক্যান্ডিডেট টাউন হলে আপনাদের আজকে যারা এই পুরো অনুষ্ঠানটি বাংলাতে শুনতে চান তারা আপনারা এই নাম্বারটিতে ডায়াল করুন। নাম্বারটি হচ্ছে 646-828-7666। আমি নাম্বারটি আবারও বলছি 646-828-7666। তারপরে এই পিন নাম্বারটি চাপুন। পিন নাম্বারটি হচ্ছে 160223-27776। তারপরে দুবার হ্যাশট্যাগ চাপুন। আমি আবারও বলছি পিন নাম্বারটি 160223-27776। তারপরে দুবার হ্যাশট্যাগ চাপুন অথবা নাম্বার চাপুন দুবার। ধন্যবাদ। থ্যাংক ইউ।
Thank you. So these languages are so beautiful. Thank you all so much for doing this and always being present to bring culturally responsive responses and information to our constituents. Thank you so much, both of you. So I want to thank Learning Times for their wonderful work from behind the scenes to help bring this meeting together tonight, to showcase and to bring forward what we are doing tonight. So what are we doing tonight, community? This is not our monthly calendar meeting or business meeting. This is a separate town hall, a unique process in the D37 DOE superintendent hiring process. So one of the first steps in getting a new superintendent in our district is the public engagement. For you, the community, for you, District 28 community, all the stakeholders to get to see who are the candidates who wants to be your superintendent, our superintendent. And the CEC, which stands for Community Education Council, the parents that you have elected, we have the honor of hosting this platform tonight to showcase and to ask questions to our candidates so that you can get to know who they are. And then as they move through this process of interviewing and knowing what the next steps are, you get a first chance to also see who they are. We are so excited tonight to have two candidates. So most of you had a chance, got an email from us that said there were 3 candidates who wants to be our superintendent. So one person withdrew their application. So we have the two lucky ones, right, who are still on the run, and you're going to hear more from them later on. So we have Dr. Eric Blake, who is currently the interim superintendent for the 28, and you'll hear from him in a few minutes. And we also have Dr. Iglio, who is also here tonight, and you'll hear from both of them later on, and then afterwards. So what's going to happen tonight? Run of show is this. I'm going to stop talking in 2 minutes. Then we're going to be getting greetings from our amazing councilwoman, Lynn Schulman, after which I'll tell you guys a run of show. We're going to give each candidate 5 to 7 minutes to introduce themselves, let the community know who they are. After which the council members, we have prepared 3 questions that we think these candidates need to answer for you, the community, and for us to gather enough information to make our recommendations. They're going to each have 3 minutes to answer each question. And how it's going to work is we're going to ask the first question. And let's say Dr. Blake goes first, then the second question, Dr. Iglio will go first. And that's how it's going to go in that order. So everyone gets a fair chance to go first, right? Then after which we're going to be taking public feedback. So this platform is a little different, but we are grateful to have the means to do what we want to do tonight. We're going to be asking you, the community, because we want to hear from you. What is your feedback? What is your comments? You're not going to be asking the candidates any questions directly, but you are more than welcome to give us a comment because we're listening to you. So our Councilmember Simone Dornbach and our Council Member Quentin Mezetin will be looking at the chat feature. And if you want to make a comment, write the word speak, just speak. And we will keep track of your name in the chat feature, and then we'll take a list of that, and you will be called in the order in which you wrote the word speak to give us feedback. Again, you will not be asking the candidates questions directly, but you're going to be giving us a feedback, and we are welcoming your feedback. So all 123 of you so far, go for it. Let's do this. It's going to be a wonderful evening. So quickly, I just want to say hi to our council members. Just press on mute. I'm going to call your name and you're going to say hi really quickly. So I'm going to call you in the order of seeing you here in my screen. Okay. We have Council Member Julie Suck. Can you please unmute to say hi?
Good evening, everyone.
We have Council Member Tanya Wendt.
Good evening, everyone.
We have Council Member Quentin Mezetin.
Good evening, everyone.
We have our first Vice President, Lou Zhao.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Nice haircut, Lou, because you only see your head.
Oh, really?
There you are. Thank you. There you are. Show us the new headphones you bought. There you are.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lou. Now you can mute back. We have our treasurer, Yu Tao Chen.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
also had a haircut. Thank you.
We have Council Member Adriana Alicia.
Good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Adriana. And we have Council Member Natifa Lewis. Oh, she's teaching right now, so she cannot mute. Thank you, but she's here. She's here. Am I missing anyone else? Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Oh, we have Councilmember Simone Dornbach. There she is. So wonderful. So our council members are here. Most of them are here. Others will join later on. So before I go any further, I would like to invite our amazing community partner. Oh, I missed one person. Dorinda C. Mangos, our CC Administrative Assistant. Dorinda, say hi, please.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Thank you, Dorinda. As I was saying, we have an amazing partner in our community. So District 28 works very closely with our elected officials. We believe they are equal and strong partners in everything that we do. Of course, and they also give a lot of money to our schools to build up our schools from the bottom up. And we are so grateful for them who always they don't wait for an invite, they just show up. And when they're in our spaces, we appreciate them. And some partners are really strong partners. Last year, we had an amazing principal legislative breakfast hosted by and co-sponsored by the amazing, very on the ground and really active Councilmember Lynn Schulman. And of course, for this very important night tonight, she's here as well. So I'll ask her to say a few words. Councilman Lynn Schulman.
Thank you very much, VJ. And I just wanted to say hello. I know that this is an interview process for the new superintendents. I was just reelected. I want to thank everyone. I look forward to working with you for the next 2 years. You're in wonderful hands with VJ. I want to tell you, I hear a lot of issues with other CECs around the city, and VJ is just amazing. And this school district is amazing. So I'll be reaching out to the principals of the schools, especially in the new part of the district, which is Richmond Hill, to talk to them about different things that are going on. Everybody can always call my office. And my chief of staff is on. He's going to remain on the call. I'm going to be here for a little bit, and then I'm going to go off. But I did want to be here. I didn't want to miss it. And, to VJ's point, I asked him if I could come tonight. He didn't come to me. I saw it on the schedule. I said, let me just show up for a few minutes because you guys are let me say this. Our kids only get one chance at a good education. And so that's one of the main reason I'm here. So, and I appreciate it, and happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you so much for all that you do. We appreciate you. We see you and we know you're here. Thank you so much. Thank you. So my dear friends, I also want to acknowledge and welcome all of our principals who are on board tonight for the grade 28, all of your principals who are here, administrative staffs, the porters, everybody who's on board, the parent coordinators. We want to say hello to you. We see you on the chat feature. We see your names there. Thank you for being present. Thank you so much again. Anyone who wants to speak later on or make a comment later on, write the word speak in the chat feature, and we will take your name down in the order in which we receive it. So at this point in time, without further ado, I'm going to be asking our candidates to please introduce themselves, and you'll have 5 minutes of this time to do so. So we have a timer, a clock on the screen, and then we'll switch over to the other candidates. So first, we'll ask Dr. Eric Blake, who's our current acting superintendent. Dr. Blake, over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this process. Let's give a little bit about my journey. I was born and raised in Jamaica, West Indies, from a family of 8. The expectation was to follow farming as a profession or to pursue education. I did pursue education and became the first in my family to graduate from college. I started teaching back in Jamaica, West Indies. Then I immigrated to the United States, where I continued the journey as an educator. I'm married with 1 adult child, and I pursued higher degrees and became a lifelong learner. My theory of action is that with effort and support, the same one that was given to me, all students can achieve outstanding educational outcomes because of the support given me. Next slide, please, is why me? Some of my qualifications included pursuing different degrees, a doctoral degree, which focused on literacy. I've been an adjunct for many years, teaching English, focusing on literacy and writing. I've been a principal for 16 years at an early college school in Brooklyn. I was recently promoted to master principal, chancellor's master principal. Then prior to that, I was an assistant principal for 6 years, English teacher for 12 years, and I taught English and social studies in the middle school way back when, and I'm a public school parent and currently the acting superintendent for the last 4 months. Some of my results are 100% graduation rate has been realized by under my tutelage as a principal in 3 consecutive years. I've gotten well developed on the quality reviews and also 82% English proficiency. My school was recognized in 2018 as a New York State recognition school, and I was named by US News and World Report as among the best school in New York City and United States for the last 5 consecutive years. Next slide, please. My leadership style. I really believe in excellence to pursue the high standards in academic achievement and institutional performance. Empathy is very, very important. I strive to compassionately understand and share the experiences of others to create a system of support and encouragement. Then I also first believe in equity. We need to have definitely equity is very important, and passion is my middle name as it were. I'm a great listener, thought partner, and I'm a consensus builder. I believe in lifting up diversity. Next slide, please. My priority focus, ever since I landed in District 28, these are the 3 major goals. It's about having all our school leaders to be focused around literacy, mathematics, chronic absenteeism, which plagues our district, and also to lift up and elevate parent engagement in the district. And I plan to do so by really hitting the ground running. I've started that process since my arrival in July of this year. Next slide, please. What a District 28 can expect of me, the grade 28. You're getting a leader who is willing to listen, learn, and grow. My job is to build on the prior plans and goals and successes of District 28, offer more accelerated and attractive, rigorous programs in all our schools across the district. And my duty is to continue to increase parent engagement and involvement, expand community partnerships, which I'll talk about later on. But my laser focus is around literacy across all grades and to really introduce our kids best practices in the science of reading. Culturally relevant educational focus is very, very important because of the diversity in our district. I've also believed in targeted interventions to support all students, ELs and students with IEPs. And the most important thing is to have a safe and inclusive environment. Dr. Blake will listen and I will have involved all the stakeholders ever since I came on board. We have been looking at our stakeholders, the families, students, parents, elected officials. I've made my trips to every school at least twice since I came to the district. Next page, please. Our district is very diverse. It has 36 schools, serving over 21,000 students of varying backgrounds from pre-K all the way to 9th grade. One of our schools, 8 schools as a 9th grade. So my job is to continue the great tradition of District 28 and to elevate the district. So I'm presenting myself as the candidate who has the experience, the know-how, and from day one, I've said I've hit the ground running, and I would just like to continue this nice task. We have so many plans to be unfolded, and with your support, we shall allow District 28 to be elevated to the highest level. Thank you very much. And that is the presentation for this night. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Blake, and you kept it in time. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here. We would also like now to welcome our second candidate, Dr. Iglio. Please, it's your table.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here this evening. I'm excited to tell you about myself and getting to know more about the community. I want to let you know that I am a daughter, a mother, a student, a servant leader, a collaborator. We can change slides. I grew up in the New York City school system. I've taught in the school systems. I taught at District 29. I've gone to schools in Manhattan. My children went to District 26 schools. And I'm really excited to be part of this community and be fostering the education of all children here. The reason I want to go back is why I want to be a superintendent and what got me in education. My experience in middle school, I had a guidance counselor, and we were going into when you applied for high schools and asked me about what career I wanted to go into. And I explained to her that I wanted to be a journalist. And she gave me a task. She said, go home, go watch the news, and come back tomorrow and tell me if you see anyone that looks like you. I went home. I did exactly what she did. And no, there wasn't anyone. So I said, no. She said, that's right. You'll never make it. You're not white and you're not a woman. Or you're a woman, I'm sorry. And so this is not a career, but be a teacher. You're going to be great. Do social studies, is close enough. And, for many years, that's what I did. And I loved it. And then I started thinking about that experience. And I'm like, wow, I dislike her. Who was this woman? I couldn't even remember her name, but she actually did me a favor. She made me fall into a career that I love, and I could not see myself doing anything else. But it also taught me that I don't want any other child to ever experience that in any school system where they are hindered by the way they look, by the sex that they are, or the future that they desire. I want to be the person that lets them know that they can do whatever they can if they put their mind to it and their heart into their education. So that is what pushes me in my educational field, and this is why I'm here this evening. The positive attributes that I've learned about the district is an embedded gift and talented programs. We can change the slides. A designated dual programs, family survey indicated some positive things that are happening in the community. What I want to do is entrust my leadership to continue to foster those things. And I'm sorry, I'm just off with the slides here. Distribute those things throughout the district, get to know the community, get to know the schools, make myself feel presence in the school, make sure that I'm part of the schools, making sure that we work together and collaborate to make those high decisions for students, to push the literacy, to push the math, to push the absenteeism, to make sure students are coming to school, that they are excited about being in school. In my last district, I changed during COVID, had 90% attendance, had students turned around for taking exams. 200% of our students, there was a 200% turnaround in taking all high stake assessments. And those are the kind of skill sets that I want to bring to the district. Bringing in the multi-tier support systems for all, for the students, for the staff, for families, making sure that our students are getting all the services that are required and ensure that we're meeting their needs so they can be the best students in the district. Supporting our principals, supporting our AP, supporting our families, making sure that we are meeting them where they're at and bringing them where they need to be. Some of the things that I foster in my district is bringing the reading scores up. And by how do I do that? I created reading programs for families. I created book clubs for children. We have reading clubs with families and staff with principals, cross-curricular. We had just reading everywhere. And that is something that I I'm excited that I brought to my district, and now I still have families asking for books. They're members of the library and the community, and they are active readers, and that brought up our scores a great amount and a greater large in the district that I was in. Want to continue to support the New York City READ programs, the standards and assessments. And my next step is to make sure that we have cross-curricular learning, that we have principals visiting other schools that are excelling in certain areas and making sure that they glean those things from those schools and bringing them to their schools, making sure that I'm being supportive, making sure that we build connections through the community, making sure that we're building connections through families, making sure that we make it an exclusive parent engagement program, understanding the community and culture that we work with, and making sure that we're meeting their needs. Once again, my commitment is to build and sustain a great school district to support and guide leaders, both building administration and educators. I have the understanding that these adults must create a true sense of urgency and a safe environment that will allow the constituents to flourish, thus producing results. At this stage of my career, I'm confident and believe that I'm capable of achieving those results by leading adults with an engaging energy that is authentic and centered on individual students, achievement and overall betterment of the community in which I serve at and around. To be successful in growing the professionals charged to facilitate the development of children as a district leader, I must be and I am committed to positively nurture the levers of success with which I instill. Commitment is demonstrated through a leader who creates vision, enacts growth mindset, and utilize skills necessary to address both technical and adaptive challenges that arise over the course of each school year. Lastly, ensuring that each building builds out a community of parenting and welcoming each and every one into their buildings. And I thank you for this time. I try to rush to make sure that I made that 5-minute marker because you never know how quick 5 minutes goes. So thank you so much. And I'm excited to answer your questions this evening.
Thank you so much for both of you for introducing yourself to the community. As we are getting next step for our next part of the process, which is to ask you all the questions that the council prepared. I just want to acknowledge our previous superintendent, Dr. Pate, is on also. So I want to say hello to you, Dr. Pate, and let you know we miss you, and we're so happy to see your name popping up on the screen. And to all our principals who are here, again, I can't stress enough how important it is to have your partnership on all levels. Our principals who are here, all of our District 28 office team members who are here tonight, we see you, we acknowledge you, and we thank you for being partners in this process. And one of the strongest assets that we have, and one of the strongest things that we have in this district is the human resource, the people resource, because we are all together, and especially the parent resource. And on this council, CEC 28, we are the great 28 for a reason. All of you council members are amazing. We have one of the strongest councils in the entire district, and we took time, we took the energy to prepare these questions, thinking about our parents, thinking about the stakeholders and who we are all doing this for, the children, our scholars. So we ask you to think about our scholars as you answer these questions. We have 3 questions we're going to ask you. They're going to be put on the screen. I want to remind everyone who is watching this live interview here, if you want to make a comment, please do write the word speak in the chat feature. You don't know how it goes. It's what we do every meeting, right? Write the word speak in the chat feature, and then our team will be taking your name down, Simone and Quentin. They will be taking down your names, and they'll be putting it on the chat feature in the order in which you signed up. And hopefully we'll get through all of you, but we'll get as many as we can. First question for the night. Dr. Blake, you'll go first, followed by Dr. Iglio, and you'll have 3 minutes to answer each question, okay? So do your best. Of course, I'm not gonna be like, time's up, but I'll give you a little room, but try to keep it within. The first question is this: how do you plan to allocate funds and resources in a manner that effectively bridges the gap between special populations, such as District 75, L, transient families, accelerated learners, and general education, ensuring equitable access and opportunities for all students, both in and out of the classroom? And the question is on the screen. Time starts. Dr. Blake?
Thank you very much. In New York City, superintendents are not given direct access to allocate funds. However, each school in the entire district is given an allocation based on special population, such as ELs, students with IEPs, as well as the number of students on the register. And most of these funds are federal or state, comes with federal or state guidelines. There's also a budget director for each district who oversees the budgeting. However, my duty as a superintendent is to ensure that schools are allocating their funds the way they ought to be allocated. And since we know that the budgets are sort of limited, we have to tap into millions of dollars from other sources, such as grants. So I put together a grant writing team to really get funds for us and also to tap into resources of our elected politicians. For example, the school I led for 15 years, we had a community that wanted CTE program, which was never enough in my budget. However, I was able to partner with elected officials, council member, and the then borough president to allocate capital funding for a strong CTE program. Today, there's a strong, vibrant CTE program at that school where I served for 15 years as principal. However, since coming to District 28, we have applied and received SIG grants, which we use to secure Teaching Matters, which is a company to support curricular planning with teachers of ELs and students with IEPs, in addition to their regular curriculum. So we have partnered with companies such as 21st Century Ed to provide additional support to students and families with STEM. On November 18, recently we had a STEM exposition in our district. It was a big kickoff exposition to expose both students and families to robotics and technology. And for that alone, we had over 300 families who attended the event. We also partner with STEAM Center in the Brooklyn Navy Yard to expose our students to additional pathways and careers. And two examples of that are some of the principals are partnering with other schools like Thomas Edison. The point I'm trying to make is that we are able to get funds from the elected officials and from other sources to be able to bridge the gap, because we know that the DOE alone, with their funding source, are often very, very limited. So as a superintendent, my job is to make sure that I go after those dollars wherever we may get them, so that we may help to bridge the divide. I also believe in meeting the needs of all learners. Accelerated students or GNT programs are very much alive, and to support remediation. So I believe in that everybody should be included. In one of my schools in the district, PS 72, no, MS 72, we have a District 75 school, and we are able to allow those students to come in the classroom and make sure that they're learning as well. So our district has been impacted by the arrival of newcomers, and we're trying to do our best to continue to get these funding sources. So whatever we do, we try to allocate the funding based on the needs of our school. Thank you very much. I wish I had more time to give some more examples, but those are the ways in which we allocate much needed funds in the district. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Iglio?
So the same thing, it's the same response. We also have to tap outside of the district and making sure that those funds are available through the needs of what the community is asking for. Looking through, when I worked in North Carolina through the school district, we had a challenge with newcomers. A lot of our newcomers did not have a place that we can situate them in classrooms. There was a shortage of bilingual educators. So partnering up with Duke University, writing grants, looking for different philanthropy that were providing funding, and we're looking for programs. So looking at all of those areas and making sure that we tap into those to bring them into the school system. And so all students can receive what they need and what we require for them to be the great students that they are. So it's just tapping into different resources, as Dr. Blake was saying, grants. You just gotta have grants, keep running those grants out there, ensuring that you tap into the people you know people, and just hitting different resources out there. I've hit a lot of the music moguls to build in DJ systems or radio systems in our schools. I've tapped into NPR, so they devoted some podcasting materials and resources for some of the schools I've been to. So it's just who you know and who you can tap into, and pulling those resources so that it's not the burden into the school system. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, reminding everyone, these questions that we're asking are the questions where the council deliberated, and we came up with these 3 questions. So this is not my question, this is the council's question. And the next question is going to be read by Councilmember Julie Saw. Julie?
Hi, thanks. So as superintendent of District 28, you would be in charge of a very geographically, culturally, economically diverse and academically prepared district. What is your plan to engage all stakeholders in decision-making, especially as it relates to increasing student achievement in District 28?
Dr. Iglio, you go first, please.
Thank you for this question. It's coming to forums like this, making sure that we have the voice of the community, ensuring and understanding what the community needs, what they're asking and requesting, looking at our resources that we have, what can we continue to pull to making sure that we're meeting all of our students and all of our families' needs. Being in every school, understanding the culture of every school, understanding what is it that they're requiring, how can we cross resource from different buildings to making sure that what one school might have, another building can use, and just making sure that we are allocating those in between the schools.
Dr. Blake? Can you reset the clock, please? There she goes. Thank you so much, Rebecca.
Thank you. District 28 is one of the most, if not the most diverse districts in New York City. There are 36 schools in D28, servicing over 21,000 scholars, Hispanics, Asian, Blacks, white. It's a very diverse district. Also multiracial and also economically disadvantaged, with most of the families are in that category. Over 13,000. We have L's over 4,000 because of the impact of newcomers. So we span a district from pre-K all the way to grade 9. As superintendent, I'm working already with the strong structures already in place, such as the CEC, the President's Council, Title I SLTs, PTAs, to engage them in the decision-making process, with the goal of improving student achievement. At every meeting thus far, I've shared the most current data to engage all stakeholders. Furthermore, I've surveyed parents, I've met with parents. The other day, I was able to be very flexible to meet with one SLT at 6:30 a.m. That takes some flexibility, but I was able to be there to support the process. I cannot be boxing in the set times as a superintendent, but as I said, I've shown the flexibility. There was one time when there was some tension around bringing a charter school in the district. The parents rallied, and because of their voice, the result was quite obvious. So also last spring, the CEC hosted a legislative breakfast for various stakeholders and parents, principals, and stakeholders to dialogue and to share local concerns with principals, where the district was able to tap into additional resources to support students and families. Also, like in PS 40, we collaborated with the speaker, Adrian Adams, to secure a grant to purchase desktops to support students at home. So I would really elevate communication and involve every stakeholder in the process. It's not what I would have done, that's what I'm doing. We look at our ELA and math data, they have gone up. Almost all our schools have recorded increases in both ELA and math scores. My job is to keep that same trajectory, where we're now 57.1% in ELA, and math went from 46.4 to 58%. Diversity is a strength, and that I would like representation from every group to elevate and lift every voice in the decision-making table. My goal is to emphasize foundational skills across K through 5, reading comprehension and literacy in all the grades from pre-K all the way through grade 6, with elevating, teaching them how to read. My biggest goal as a superintendent is to allow all my kids to be able to read, and that's my big major focus. And we cannot do this without involving the parents and the entire community. So my job is to involve every stakeholder. Recently, we met with the CSA, UFT, the different unions, Council Member Schulman, Williams, and Borough President Donovan Richards, Senator John Liu. The point I'm making, we have to engage the entire village to raise a child, and I'm doing that on the ground already. Thank you.
So much, Dr. Blake. And our last question from the council is going to be asked by Councilmember Yutao Chen. Yutao?
Hi, good evening. Thank you for the running for our council. District Superintendent. My question is geographically and economically, District 28 provides unique challenges for busing, school safety, parent engagement, and other support areas. As superintendent, how do you plan to address concerns such as chronic absenteeism, inconsistent math and ELA scores, and other pain points related to those challenges?
Okay.
Thank you.
Utah, your volume was going in and out a little bit, so I'm just going to repeat the question really quickly. Geographically and economically, District 28 provides unique challenges for busing, school safety, parent engagement, and other support areas. As superintendent, how do you plan to address concerns such as chronic absenteeism, inconsistent math and ELA scores, and other pain points related to these challenges? Dr. Blake, you go first.
Thank you. As the acting superintendent, I've already started to expand the district team to include a point person who oversees attendance. Formerly, there were other persons in charge of attendance, but I think I need to elevate one focus around absenteeism, and that is to have one person overseeing an entire team of teachers in a different school to really provide support around absenteeism. One of the ways of doing this is providing more family engagement, because the research has shown that when families are engaged, there's a correlation with improved attendance. For example, I recently attended a family literacy night at PS 54, where we had over 335 families in attendance. Another school used part of their magnet grants to hire youths to escort students from home to school. It's called the Walk-in School Bus. That was very interesting to improve student participation and attendance. This also touches on the safety issues. On the safety issue, we have monthly check-ins with NYPD leadership around school safety, especially during morning arrivals and dismissals. At each school, there are mandated school safety meetings to discuss safety issues. For example, PS 182, they have implemented a system called, I just mentioned about the walk-in school bus, where kids are able to really go and help the families, and also to have this early breakfast club where students are able to have a meal at school. All of those things will really encourage our youngsters to be at school and thus to chip away at the absenteeism gap. Commencing December 21st, the district will be adopting the GAMA system. It's called Grading Attendance and Messaging Application System, which will be used across the district to improve emergency messaging to families. This app will be used to monitor your child's progress, increase your ability to stay informed, and connect directly. And this, I must say, is a result of a parental concern that was raised at the CEC, that the parents need more transparency about how to really be in touch with their families. So I'm pleased to say, starting December 21st, District 28 will be adopting that. In addition, we have the BRT team leaders will also be trained in the usage. And this decision was because, as I said, a parental concern. Many of the pain points, we know that the basic things to allow students to read. So almost all our schools, as I said, have received increases in math and ELA. And the great work that has started by our former superintendent, Dr. Pate, and I'm here to continue that great momentum by looking at an equity-based curricula and by replicating best practices. Since my arrival, I've created what is known as level groups, where all the principals are able to visit each other's school from the north and south, and they are really enjoying this process. And the next step is to have the teachers involved, then we'll be having our students involved. We want one district, one voice, and the major thing is to accelerate and to improve. And that is what I'm leading on the ground as the superintendent in charge right now, the acting superintendent. So I love to continue the work and to involve all stakeholders. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Blake. Next we have is Dr. Iglio.
Thank you. So to address first the absenteeism is really understanding why students are being absent. Then meeting those needs, understanding why is it that they're not coming to school, what are needs that are not happening at the schools, discussing with families, making sure that we have programs that interest students and bringing them in. Not only career readiness, college readiness, but making sure that we have some career readiness programs, ensuring that students' needs are being met there. What are the times of the schools? Just looking at all of those facets and making sure those parents' needs are being met so students are coming to school and understanding what the students are needing. Inconsistent math and ELA scores, making sure that we are providing the education the students need, that we're using the best approaches, that we're using the curriculum the students are needing so they can do score well on the exams, but not teaching to the exam, but making sure that we are providing them the education that they need so they do well in exams, but they are learning well and that they are able to take the exams well. Looking at what programs are we using? Are we using them with fidelity? What programs, resources we have in the schools? Looking at going back to what teachers are needing, what are principals needing? What professional developments are we providing that are not allowing them to maybe provide and be consistent with the programs that students are needing to test well. Also looking at parent engagement. What else do we need to offer families to bring them into the schools, making sure that they understand how we can build that school and home connection, making sure that we are, as a district, being one and gleaning from one school to another. What are the best practices? What are we doing well? What can we do better? We have good schools in the district. How do we continue to make them great? Thank you.
Thank you so much. So that brings us to the end of the council member questions. I want to thank you both for your time so far and for your patience and also following the timeline. I really appreciate your answers, and both of you show so much passion and care for what you do. To our members in the community, if you look at the chat feature, I put a list of people who have signed up to make comments so far. I know I actually put the word speak, just to speak, right? But you're making a comment. We are not asking the two candidates any questions directly, but we are here to listen. The council members are here to listen to your feedback. So you will all have a minute and a half, one minute and a half. Quentin, do you mind doing time check, please, when we call on the people to make their comments? And you will have up to 7:30 to write the word speak, and we'll take as many comments as we can. So in the meantime, I'm going to be asking the two candidates to say a final words. You're going to have 3 minutes, if you can, Rebecca, 3 minutes each. It's a lot of time, but I want to give you that 3-minute window to really, if there's anything you want to say to the community, 3 minutes or less, it's up to you. Feel free to do so. So I believe Dr. Blake, you went last, so first. So this time we'll have Dr. Iglio go first, and then you will go after. Can we spotlight them if that's possible, Rebecca? Can we spotlight when they're speaking? I appreciate that if that's possible. There you are. So Dr. Iglio, you have 3 minutes. Go for it.
So once again, I do thank you for inviting me to this town hall to discuss who I am and what I can bring to the district. I know that I'll be coming in as a new person. I know that I've been working in other districts. I've worked for the city, I've worked for the state. Part of my dissertation was to go out to charter schools to really identify the difference between the public schools and what's happening in charter schools. I do come with a wealth of knowledge. I have not been in the district, so it will be a starting point for me, but I know that I have the heart for education, for leadership, and I'm excited to start in a district to call home and to build together and foster the growth and education, not only for students, but for families, for leaders, for teachers, for everyone that is in the district. And I thank you for the opportunity, and I'm excited to be able to work with you. And like I said, there will be a learning curve, but I'm excited for that learning curve. I'm excited for that challenge, and I look forward to growing with you and understanding the district and developing these new relationships and moving our students forward. And I thank you for it. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Next, you're going to be having Dr. Blake, if you don't mind this time. Any final words you have or you would like to say to our community? Once we switch you to, there you are, you can start once the clock starts. Sir?
Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak about my work in District 28. As a district superintendent, my job is to listen, learn, and grow. And I want to continue to build on the prior plans and goals and successes of District 28 to offer more accelerated programs, not just accelerated programs, but also remedial programs. I believe that we can be a district of excellence. We're already great, we can even be greater. So I want to continue to support and increase parental engagement and involvement. I want to be that voice that speaks for everybody in the district. From the north side to the south side, I'm able to sort of bring together everybody in the district because there are some great best practices in the district, and I would love to replicate and to lift up and put those across the entire district. In fact, I've started the work around that. I'm aware that the district has different culture, and I believe in lifting up and celebrating cultural relevance in where education is concerned. I believe in equitable access to highly effective teaching. I've started the momentum with my level groups where principals, leaders on this platform are visiting other schools and are having tremendous success. I would love to continue the process of making that even more expansive across the entire district. I believe in also targeting interventions and supports for all students, ELs, multi-language learners, students with IEPs. Everyone, every student, every child is important. I believe that we can create a safe and inclusive environment. I think I'm living testimony to that. And I would love to be given the opportunity to continue to work with the district to bring about a beacon of hope in District 28. We know that we are all different, there are differences, but I believe that the differences are not challenges, but they're opportunities for us to thrive and coexist. I believe in respecting and elevating. As I said, every voice is important. From the parent groups who have met with me so far about their concerns, I'm not just a listener, but a doer. I've been a product of public school in the sense that my own child who went to my school is in the public school in Brooklyn. Should tell you the investment that I've placed in public schools. I've made a great success at that school, and my job is to bring that, to elevate that across the entire district as a chance to speak about how can we sustain and maintain what works. So I'm here with over 3 decades, 30 years of experience. The district will be serving very well if you allow me to continue this great work. And it's not just me, it's about a teamwork. And I'm here to make that teamwork the dream work. So continue to support us and to support my candidacy for District 28 to be the great 28. Thank you very much, ladies, gentlemen, children, and also the leaders on this platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to both of you. So if you don't mind sticking around, we'll there's a regular screen now, beautiful gallery screen. There it is. Okay, so at this point in time, let me get back my other screen. So we have Quentin. Where are you? Let me see.
I'm right here.
There you are. Okay, great. So Quentin, when we call the speakers, they have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make a comment or less, and then they'll hear you say what?
Get off. I mean, time.
If Quentin said time's up, that means your minute and 15 seconds is up for your comment. So at this point in time, I don't know where my chat feature went. 1 second, please. Let's get it up. Sorry, folks. Okay, so the first speaker that we have is Irene Rivsky. Irene, you have 1 minute and 15 seconds. Can you go for it, please, to make a comment?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for hosting tonight. And thank you, Dr. Blake, for your comments and your thoughts that you shared with us today. In light of the recent events that occurred at Hillcrest High School, fellow parents and I who have kids in public school are very concerned about the safety of our children in public school. And we're likewise concerned about the fact that a lot of young people are receiving their news and other information from social media sources, which often provide misguided and just wrong information based on which sometimes students act out inappropriately the way they did at Hillcrest High School. So since I cannot ask a question from our candidates for superintendent and just provide a comment, my comment would be that I hope that the next superintendent would be cognizant of the concerns of the Jewish parents in this district, of which there are many, and be cognizant of our concerns and our fears, and deal with the rise of anti-Semitism that we are unfortunately seeing in our city and in our district in an appropriate and reasonable manner. I hope that's being taken in consideration for the new superintendent as well as our CEC. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Irene. Next, we have Principal Nicholas Petrello.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for this opportunity tonight. Thank you to our candidates for joining us this evening in this process. My comment is I want to thank Dr. Blake for his work so far in a short time in District 28 for advancing in our focus on equity in the various stakeholder groups within the district. One particular initiative that Dr. Blake referenced tonight that he brought into 28 is the idea centered around lever groups. In these lever groups, they're principals selected based on our own need and or interest or area of focus within our school buildings. Our visitations are structured in a particular way to include a text to ground the visit to different classrooms and instructional spaces with a specific lens, and then time for us to have those conversations with one another and to debrief with appropriate next steps and feedback for one another in a collegial and collaborative way. So I just want to comment on that wonderful opportunity to allow us to get out of our buildings and to see the wonderful learning that is taking place all across District 28. Yes, we do have our principal conferences monthly where we get to talk about it, but to actually visit and see it is a fantastic thing. So I just want to thank you for bringing that into District 28. That is so, so powerful.
Thank you, Principal Petrello. So Rebecca, I apologize. So maybe no, let's not do it that way. Sorry. I would prefer we see our candidate. I apologize. I had instructed to do it the other way. Thank you, Rebecca. We want to hear Quentin's voice. Thank you so much. Next we have is thank you all for keeping your time because Quentin's on the job. We have Dr. Chanel Hall. Dr. Hall.
So good evening, everyone. Thank you again for being here to be a part of this town hall here in District 28. I want to publicly share with our great 28 community that I truly am grateful to work alongside Dr. Blake. I started my journey in District 28 with the highly acclaimed Dr. Pate. And after working with Dr. Blake for the past 5 months and working alongside him as your deputy superintendent, I know that he is the best candidate to continue the work from where Dr. Pate left off. While we know all of his accolades as principal and master principal and even teacher in service of children in New York City public schools for the past 30 years, I want the community to know that for Dr. Blake, good is not good enough. He truly believes in excellence for teachers, for principals, and for our scholars, and even for families. So if you noticed on his slide where he said 100% of our school leaders will focus on increasing literacy and math proficiency and parental engagement. So for our families that are on the call, I want you to know that he truly believes in the success of each and every one of your children. So much so that he allocates human, fiscal, and pedagogical resources to ensure that each and every one of our students' success in District 28 is a reality. And one last thing I want to share is that beyond all of thank you.
You can finish it. Go ahead.
Okay, one last thing I want to share is that beyond all of the academic and professional accolades, Dr. Blake is an honest and humble human being that truly believes in the best for each and every stakeholder in our community and shows that by his actions and his words. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. You have to buy us coffee because we give you 1 minute extra, right? Thank you, Dr. Hall. Next we have is Elisa Garcia, and we are making it you a panelist, so you can, if you want to show your face, Elisa, or the ones who are speaking, you're more welcome to do so now, if you'd like to do that. But go for it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Elisa Garcia. I am a parent and a PTA volunteer at PS 82. And I just had a comment for both. I love the fact that they're willing to work and better out the community. And most of all, have unity for everyone. We have many different cultures in the area of Queens. And I think that's very important, that unity is a #1 thing. I would just like to have a little feedback and just like a little, I wanted to say, it would be a great idea if for the superintendent to visit schools with many parents, because I know that many parents have concerns in the area, safety concerns, to be able to speak to every parent and just hear every single parent's idea and concern. As a mother and a child, I'm always just willing to help and volunteer, and I just want the school and the community that's in that school to feel safe, and for kids to feel safe as well in that school. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elisa. Love having the kids coming on. Thank you so much. Next, we have Principal Patrick Burns.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity, VJ. Congratulations to both candidates stepping into some serious shoes as the next superintendent of District 28. I have been in District 28 now for 28 years as a teacher, as a dean, as an assistant principal, and now as a principal for 16 years. I do want to just really thank Dr. Blake for his time serving to date as the acting superintendent here in District 28. Truly appreciate his transparency and his support during these months. My experience working with Dr. Blake has been very, very positive, and I'm just grateful for his focus on the sciences, exemplified by his STEM Expo that he helped to plan and lead. And earlier in his conversation in terms of money, and we know with budget cuts current and looming, his ability to find partnerships to help to push that expo forward was absolutely beautiful, with over 300 families in attendance on that particular Saturday. I also believe deeply in Dr. Blake's commitment to excellence, evidenced by all the work he did at his own school. And in conversations with Dr. Blake speaking to the fact that his own son went to his high school, I cannot think of a more act of commitment than to have your own child attend your school. Absolutely grateful. And thank you, Dr. Blake, and thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Quentin. Thank you, Principal Burns. And next we have Diana Calixte.
Yes, hello.
Hello, we hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I want to say it's a pleasure to attend this meeting, and both candidates really are stellar. But the one that stands out for me is Dr. Blake. I have personal experience with working with Dr. Blake, not only as a teacher, but also as an assistant principal. Dr. Blake has made some big strides with his former school. As you know, he ran a 6 to 12 school. He came in early 2000s, and he transformed that school to be extremely stellar, despite all the changes in the city. Dr. Blake never stops. The good is not enough for him. He took a school that is in our CUNY network that offers college courses to students and put in a CTE program. He's about expanding opportunities not only to the students, but also to families also. He also had a very strong PTA while at STAR that still remains today. Dr. Blake's leadership is transformative. He has influenced many people. Many people have become leaders under his belt, and District 28, you are so fortunate and blessed to have him. We miss you in Brooklyn, Dr. Blake.
Thank you so much. Next we have is Megan Pasnick.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you. If you want to put your camera on,
Okay, great. So I worked with Dr. Blake to develop a video for Science, Technology, and Research Early College School at Erasmus. And I'm sort of an outsider from that point of view, but I was so impressed with his knowledge, his laser-focused dedication to high academic standards that work for really all students. And he paired Brooklyn College and as well as a technical center with the school, and that's like brilliant, covers everybody. You cannot underestimate the amount of excellence and bright future he will bring to District 28 students. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Gina, I saw you put your name on the chat feature. Is that because you wanted to speak? If you do want to speak, you have literally, well, you just made it on time. But I saw you put your name, but we asking for the word speak. So just comment in the chat if yes, please. Okay, so yes, so you were the last person you just made on time to add to the list to make a comment. So now our chat features, speak feature is closed now. So we're just gonna go through the list that we have at this point with Gina being the last person. So our next person who's going to be making a comment is Evan Goldwyn. Evan.
Good evening. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good evening, Community School District 28. Tonight, you all stand at the crossroads in choosing your next community superintendent. And I'm honored to speak in support of a truly exceptional one, Dr. Eric L. Blake. Now, his candidacy is not just about filling a position, in my opinion. It's about ushering in an era of transformative leadership and educational excellence. Dr. Blake's journey from a dedicated educator to a visionary leader exemplifies the very beliefs of District 28, a commitment to excellence, inclusivity, and innovation. And his profound understanding of your district's needs, combined with his exceptional track record in educational leadership, sets him very far apart in this esteemed race. Now, I'm speaking during my tenure as an assistant principal under Dr. Blake, where I witnessed firsthand his exceptional ability to foster an environment of growth and learning. He had a unique approach to empowering educators, engaging students, and involving the community, which has brought about remarkable improvements, not just in academic performance, but overall student well-being. So in Dr. Blake, you have a leader who values every voice in your community. His commitment to building inclusive spaces where every student and teacher and parent is heard and valued. So as you make this crucial decision for your district's future, I want to encourage you. Choose a leader who embodies the spirit of progress and community. Choose a leader who's proven time and again his ability to inspire, innovate, and lead with integrity. Choose a leader who transforms challenges into educational success stories. Choose a leader who's committed to every student's success and well-being. Choose a leader who values diversity, inclusivity, and every voice. Choose Dr. Eric L. Blake for the future of District 28, a future bright with promise and brimming with potential. I wholeheartedly support Dr. Blake for CSD 28. Thank you.
Quentin was on it and he almost said off. Thank you, Quentin. You see, we have fun. We enjoy our community. This is a community of joy. We love what we do, and we do this with all joy, and we get together like this. Thank you so much, Quentin and Evan, for going over time. Next we have is Patricia Hanley.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Patricia Hanley. I'm the principal of PS 54, the Hillside School, and I'd like to speak to Dr. Blake's commitment to fostering collaboration and inclusivity through the entire village approach. He really, truly recognized the importance of engaging all stakeholders. My school community really appreciates his proactive events. He's visited our school on numerous occasions, and when he comes, he speaks with the students about their learning, what they love, what they're finding difficult, how we can help them. He's come to our family math night where we've had over 300 families, and along with Councilmember Schulman, he's cut the cake, the 100th year birthday cake, and served it to parents and engaged in conversations with them, regarding what's working at the school, what can I do to help here? And he's also attended teacher team meetings and made the teachers really feel, like confident and, secure and able to speak about any challenges that they're having. His hands-on approach really demonstrates his genuine commitment to understanding and connecting with the whole community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to remind everyone who signed up to speak, you can turn your cameras on if you so wish to do so. We love seeing faces. We miss you all. So next we have is Kino Kwashi.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Kwashi, assistant principal here at the High School for Global Citizenship. I really, tonight, there was two wonderful candidates, but what really sparked me is Dr. Eric Blake. I was one of his former students, one of his first graduating class of Star Early College High School. And in a community of prospective leaders, Dr. Blake really stands out as someone who's devoted to cultivating a culture of academic excellence and strategic leadership and coaching that I've known for the past 15 years. He's a leader really who understands the power and, more importantly, of the influence of individuals in creating a collaborative community and very inclusive. He's a transformational leader. He's respected by students, teachers, parents, staff, district, community. So I know District 28 is really going to be fortunate to have a leader and a superintendent as Dr. Blake. He's really passionate about the work. Just hearing him tonight, he was grounded in the qualitative data, and he's speaking from rich experiences. I think that would drive the district to a new level, as he talked about building upon. So with, motivation and his proven record of success, without any reservation, that I recommend like as an ideal choice as a prospective candidate for his superintendent for District 28.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Dr. Shango Blake.
Good evening, everyone. This is the other Blake, Dr. Blake. And both panelists seem to be very qualified to serve the district. I want to represent the perspective and the point of view of Southeast Queens. It haven't really, since August, heard Dr. Blake come out to any real major community events and address those stakeholders that are in Southeast Queens to present his vision for this side of the district. And it's important, as I represent an organization that supports Black and Brown children, that we want to hear more from Dr. Blake in Southeast Queens, talking to our community about what he's going to do to deal with the issues of equity and to really build the community of support for those schools on that side of the district that have a great need. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Other Blake, right? And thank you, Rebecca, for the back end work that's making all of everyone come seamlessly on. Rebecca from Learning Times, great job. Thank you so much. Next, we have Principal Vincent Sirachi.
Thank you, VJ and committee. Good evening to all. Dr. Blake brings a demonstrated wealth of knowledge and experience to the superintendent's position. And although he had Dr. Pate's shoes to fill, from our opening meeting in August, Dr. Blake has communicated a clear vision for our district focused on student achievement and professional development for teachers and supervisors. He has assembled an excellent team at the district office to support our schools in achieving these goals, and we look forward to continuing this important work. So thank you again for this opportunity, and good luck to both candidates. Good luck, Dr. Blake.
Thank you, Mr. Sirachi. Next, we have Dr. Hazel Ann Lewis.
Hi, everyone. So I'm a principal in District 28, a new principal at that. And I've also been an assistant principal in Southeast Queens. And, I just want to say that I heard from my former principal just recently, just last week, about Dr. Blake going into Southeast Queens and participating with the CSA and, being on the other side. So, the secret is probably not out that he's all over. And I'm going to give us just a few more vocabulary. He's truthful. He's authentic. He's humble. He's a keen advocate for excellence. Dr. Blake, he's passionate, humble, culturally proficient, responsive, very respectful. He's a keen observer. Before I became promoted to the principalship, Dr. Blake came and observed me in summer school. He doesn't make choices lightly. So he's passionate. He deals with the collective wisdom of all. He's a missing piece.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Joanne Benoit.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. I am going to read my notes because I can be long-winded, but I wanted to be succinct and make sure that I shared. Dr. Blake is a leader's leader. He listens, he's compassionate, he models the way, he's experienced and knowledgeable, but yet he is very humble and committed to District 28. He has implemented a series of practices and structures that have engaged different stakeholders and brought to light areas that we as a district needed to lift up and focus on. For example, L instruction and decreasing our chronic absenteeism rate. He's been able to hear out, be with, tackle, many issues within the district team, our schools, and the larger community in a seamless way. His transition as our interim acting superintendent has brought a level of stability to the district that has allowed us to continue to move and push forward. I am very blessed to serve under his leadership. Thank you for the time.
That wasn't bad. You kept it even if you didn't check Quentin.
That's why I had to write it.
Yeah, 2 seconds. You were good. You were good. You practiced.
You were good. Look at that, Quentin. You're on it. Look at that. You got 2 stars. Thank you so much for being here. Next we have is Dr. Patrick Alsogba. Hope I said it good.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Beautiful. I'm going to do this. I want to take about just 40 seconds, if I can. We've heard so much about Dr. Blake. I want to introduce you to Dr. Blake, the father, Dr. Blake, the husband, and Dr. Blake, the leader. I know Dr. Blake. I've known Dr. Blake for about 16 years, been a colleague. We went through the same leadership program. But let me give you a few more adjectives. Dr. Blake is very respectful, despite his achievement and his experience, a man who is very responsible. When you talk about integrity, no better person demonstrates integrity, and we've heard a lot about that today. Very honest and very collaborative. You are getting a true transformational leader in Dr. Blake. I just have to say that, but we've heard so much, and it's a testament to who he is, the man, the husband, and the father. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next we have is Sarah Ringy.
Ringy, you did a good job. Thank you. Hello and good evening, everyone. I think one thing that's quite clear is Dr. Blake's unwavering expectations for student achievement and what he's done at Star Academy as a principal and his unwavering expectations for the culture of excellence he created, not only through academics, but culture as a whole within his whole school by the house system he created. Furthermore, looking at how he was in mentoring other leaders and what he created to inspire others to lead, I think is a definite asset for everyone within District 28. And it's a support system that would really make District 28 go to that next level. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Next we have Sasha Cruz.
Hi, everyone. I deeply appreciate Dr. Blake's remarkable commitment to our school community. Not only did he take the time to personally call me on my cell phone and meet with me at the school, but his engagement went beyond that. I mean, he had the pleasure of interacting with my daughter and spoke eloquently about the higher order thinking that takes place at her school. I felt he was genuine and has a very humble commitment and is truly noteworthy. And I'm very confident that he will play a pivotal role in addressing our needs and fostering a positive growth within our school community. So I'm all in favor of Dr. Blake.
Thank you so much, Sasha. Next we have is Gina Luby.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm a parent. My son attends PS 174, and we went through a big transformation. We got a new principal, Dr. Lewis. I had the honor of meeting Dr. Blake at my son's school, and having a leader that isn't afraid to fight for our children, who encourages diversity, has empathy, and great integrity are the traits that District 28 needs for our district to continue to be successful. And having a superintendent whose child went to New York City public school system definitely shows me that he knows what our children need. I am looking forward to the day where the word interim is removed from his name and that he is our superintendent. And we welcome you with open arms, Dr. Blake. It is a pleasure. I'm just sad that, this is my son's last year and he received a great principal, and I'm looking forward to receiving this amazing superintendent.
So much. And now at this point, we'll be giving our council members 1 minute to make a comment. Council members, 1 minute to make a comment, if you have one, to our two candidates. So I'm going to call you in the order you in my screen. Tanya, you're first, followed by Simone, then Quentin, then Yutao, then Kalyana Gurmurthy, Julie, Latifa, Lou, Yes, so Tanya, go for it, please.
Yeah, thank you very much to both candidates for taking the time out this evening to speak with us, to kind of give us a little bit of your background. It was much appreciated. And thank you to all of the community members who made comment and spoke on your experience with these two candidates. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simone.
I just want to thank you for taking the time to be here today, for sharing who you are with us. It was very impressive. Both candidates are very impressive, and I know it will be very hard. I also want to thank you, the community, for showing up, for really sharing your feelings about the candidates. It was enlightening to hear from you, from the principals, from former colleagues, and from our District 28 parent community. Thank you for sharing your views.
Thank you, Councilmember Simone. Next, Councilmember Quentin Mezetin. I'm timing you. Go ahead, Quentin. Okay.
Appreciate that. Now, thank you to you two candidates. You guys are very, very, very impressive with your resumes. I look forward to whoever fills that seat to remember me on the D75 seat and remember that community that needs your support and attention. So keep that same energy on this side of the fence as well.
Thank you, Quentin. Did great with time. Kalyana Gurumurthy, you're next.
Hi, thank you. I wish both of you great success here in District 28 or wherever you may arrive. And both of you are doing the Lord's work and focusing on primary and secondary education. High school education is the most important lever, instrument to increase social mobility, prosperity of our society. And you are contributing to that. We are thankful. We are deeply appreciative. Please accept our thanks, congratulations, and best wishes.
Thank you so much, GK. Next, Julissa.
Well, I'll just echo, thank you, Dr. Iglio and Dr. Blake. I can tell you're very passionate about education and the community, and thank you for everything you've already been doing. And just thanks to everyone in the community for joining today to be part of this important meeting.
Thank you so much, Julie. Next, we have is Lou Zhao, First Vice President.
Yeah, thanks both candidates, give us a very good presentation here. And we have known Dr. Blake for a while and really impressed with his work, have done in this district. Today, he showed, all the things like hard facts, data, everything, really onto the details, which is very impressive. I hope we can work together, in the future, and there's a lot of we can do together to improve our district. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lou Zhao. Next, Yutao Chen, our treasurer.
Thank you, both candidates. Thank you to all the community members, the principals, and all the parent coordinators. I think it's a great learning experience for a lot of people, and it's a great opportunity to see so many people, so much support, and whoever gets the selected as the superintendent. I hope we're going to work together and we're going to have a great future for the district. Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer Lou Zhao. And she's here. Did your class finish, Latifa? Latifa Lewis is our recording secretary. She's also an educator. Go for it, Latifa.
Good evening, everyone. I was listening. I actually took a break while my students are doing some assignments, but I like problems that we have in terms of selecting a superintendent. When you have two good candidates, nobody loses. The district would be in good hands. I always say in cases like this, though, that sometimes it's always the incumbent's job to lose it. And I think that, Dr. Blake gave a good account of himself, so did the other candidates. So, I think D28 is in great hands.
Thank you so much. So, my dear friends, to both candidates, I've been, this is my first, second, third, fourth time in this process here since joining the CEC since 2019. where we're interviewing a new superintendent, and we are in this process. And I've always said the same thing. Accountability is important. Our children have only one chance, just one chance to be an 8th grader, one chance to be a 12th grader, and they go. And it's our responsibility to really make sure we give them the best. And whoever becomes our superintendent, you're in charge of that. And we, the parents, we, the parent body who was elected by all 80,000 parents in our district to represent their concerns, we will hold you accountable at the end of the day. And I think also hold us accountable, because it's a partnership. It's a collaborative effort here in this whole process. We'll bring concerns to you. We will elevate concerns to you. And we are looking for you to be partners with us in finding sustainable solutions that will work for most kids in our district, for as much families as we can. The problems are not going to stop. They're going to keep coming. But I really feel if we are united in solution-based ideas, we'll get through anything and everything together. I want to say something about our council, CEC 28 Community Education Council. We are strong. We are on the grounds. We are doing the work as parents. We don't get paid for it, but we do the work. And we are partners with whoever the superintendent will be. We are your partners. We are your hands and your feet on the ground, doing great things alongside with you. So thank you both, Dr. Iglio, Dr. Blake, for taking the time to really show interest in leading and to pour your years of commitment and experience for our children. We want to thank you for doing that, what you have done so far, to be at this platform today to say, let me bring this to District 28. We are lucky to have 2 amazing candidates, but we also know that we are doing right by our families, by giving them a chance to really hear who you are, showcase your strengths, and leaving room to listen and build together with either of you who become the next superintendent. So with that being said, I want to thank Learning Times, Rebecca, and to John and the entire team in the background, Theodore Pearson, who's been working with me on the back end to plan this stuff, to our amazing super administrative assistant during the CMongle, and to our interpreters who always are here doing wonderful things and being present in the room. We thank you to Benito, to Karen, to Afroza, and there was one more person, and there she is, Kainat. Thank you so much for your time and your commitment, for being here with us. We are in this together. This is what community looks like. With that being said, good night, and thank you all for being here. Good night.